Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to tell you how to update your Crossfire receiver. If you have one existing, if you have an existing module already inside your drone and you want Crossfire Shot and you're having trouble, I'm going to show you how to do that the proper way so you could get up in the air in no time. If you have a module like this one that goes in the back of your Tyrannus or your TX16 or whatever controller you have, I'll show you how to update this too. If you have a Tango 2 like this one may look a little different to you because I did some custom modifications on it. It comes with the Crossfire Shot on it already, but you could update to the latest firmware. It does work and will work for everybody if you update correctly, and also will get you up in the air in no time. I'll show you how to put your receiver back in bind mode, and we'll go through it step by step. The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to download Agent X if you don't have it already. You can find that on the Team Black Sheep website. Just type in Team Black Sheep, downloads, and you'll get to the Agent X, and you download the latest version of the Agent. As you see, mine's a little old. I need an update. That's fine. No big deal. In the end, you want to be on this screen here, okay? Now, yours may not look exactly like this because I have multiple devices that are on here. As you see, I got a Crossfire, 2 Crossfires here, Tango here, Cloud here, another Crossfire here. So 3 Crossfires and a Tango. And, you know, everybody's screen will look different depending on how many Crossfire products you have. But what you want to do is whether you're plugging in your module or you're plugging in your Tango 2, either way, you want to plug in via micro USB like this. And once you're plugged in, it'll show that you're plugged in. In my case, it's the device on the top left. You'll see the little green light up right there, which shows that there's communication with your device. At this point, you click Manage. And in our case, we want to update the firmware. And in my case, at the time of releasing this video, I am current with the 3.28. I shot this video on June 10th, 2020. The versions you see above this are in beta versions, so I will not be doing that until they are the actual released version. So in my case, I'm current, but if you're not, you hit update. And a big mistake people make here is you have to let it update, be patient. Depending on your internet connection, it may take you longer, it may be fast. Either way, let it finish, let it say 100% complete before you disconnect. Now, this is the important part. Once this is updated, you do not need to do anything else in Agent X. You could X that out, turn off your computer, and we can get started on the rest of this thing. Okay, at this point, if you have a new receiver, like this one in the package here, when you plug in, your receiver should be flashing green in 1-second intervals. That flash means that you're in bind mode. That applies to whether it was bound already, if it wasn't bound already, if it's old, if it has new firmware, old firmware, it does not matter. All the updating done to your receiver is done from your transmitter or your module, which you put the updated version already on your module if you follow these instructions that I've given you to the word. So at this point, everything is done over the air from your receiver and your transmitter. So at this point, I'm going to show you how to do an existing transmitter, an existing receiver, because I know that's what you guys are interested in for the most part. So now I'll show you just so you guys could see for verification. I'm going to plug in this drone. This is a little 3-inch micro alien build. Very nice build. I use it with my Insta360 Go.
Welcome to Tango 2.
You hear my Tango 2 is powering on right now. It's my little alien, and just for testing, you can see that my drone arms, it's communicating and everything is done. Okay, so now that we know that, I'm going to show you how to rebind your receiver.
Still connected.
Turn this off. Okay, I'm going to unplug this. Now, when it's unplugged, you can see there's no communication. Your light is going to be red. If you attempted to bind and it did not work, your light will also be red. That means that your receiver is powered on. It has already been bound, but there is no communication to it. So if you made a mistake, it will be like this. So after updating your firmware, what you want to do, and this is important, is use either a toothpick or a pen or something wood, something other than a metal object, and you want to press in that bind button as you power up your transmitter. So I'm just going to get a pen. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to use a Q-tip because it's nice and easy. I cut one end off, and in my case, my button on my receiver is right underneath in an accessible spot, right there. And you can take my word for it, because I know you won't be able to see on camera, but I'm pressing the button in like this with one hand, and this is pretty difficult usually, because you have to plug in and press the button in at the same time, and it's always, you know, a pain to do this, but you know, with a little bit of patience and the right angling coordination, you'll get it done. So I'm pressing in the button. As I'm pressing in the button, I'm going to plug in my drone. And you see, once I plug in, that you're flashing bright green, you're flashing rapidly. That indicates that you press the button incorrectly. If you're not flashing like this when you plug in, that means you did not press the button correctly. This will work on every single Crossfire receiver, regardless of what firmware is on there. So once that is done, staying plugged in, you press and hold in that button again, and it's going to start flashing in different orientation speeds. First it goes a little bit slower, then it goes back to fast, and you're doing this for 20 seconds. Then it's going to start beeping a little bit more sporadically like that, and then eventually it's going to start flashing like that, which in 1 second interval greens or half-second intervals, whatever you want to call it, that indicates that it is officially in factory default bind mode. So when I unplug and plug back in, it will still be flashing that same green. And that's where you want to be. Once you're at that point, you can now bind just like you always bound your controllers before. So in my case, I have a Tango. So when I hit page, I go to, excuse me, I'm sorry. When I hit menu, I go to the Crossfire menu. Okay, Tango 2. Oh, that's the Tango Wi-Fi. Sorry. Tango 2. Go to bind. You click bind. And now, first, oh, I set the failsafe again. Sorry. Click bind. Okay, now you see binding. First it'll say binding, and then eventually the screen is going to switch, and it's going to say update micro TX. You hit enter. And now it's updating the receiver. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. As you can see, the light is blue. Okay, now you see it says RX is loading. At this point, I'm going to show you what your receiver will be doing, and it'll get that rapid flashing green again. And on your controller, it's going to say RX loading, don't interrupt. Then when it's done, it'll flash red, green a couple times, and then boom, solid green. That indicates that you're bound. Now, in order to test it, exit out of that menu so you have communication. And just to check, there you have it. Totally bound Crossfire Shot receiver and transmitter. So if you're wondering what this is, by the way, these LEDs flashing in the back with the clear case, there's a video I made on this as well. It'll be linked in the top right. Please subscribe to my channel, and you'll see the playlist for all my build videos for things like this and other things that you could add or take into your drone that could prove to be useful for you. So please subscribe and take a look at those. I hope this video was useful, and look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. Thank you very much.